His life became synonymous with liberty and revolution. Fueled by a passion for military strategy and the ideals of the Enlightenment, he played a pivotal role in birthing nations not only in his homeland, but across the globe. Honing his skills in Europe, Tadeusz Kościuszko crossed the Atlantic in 1776 to join the American Revolution. His expertise in engineering and fortification proved invaluable, tipping the scales at the decisive Battle of Saratoga. Returning to the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth and witnessing its decline, he advocated for reforms, leading the valiant but ultimately unsuccessful Kościuszko Uprising in 1794. Despite the setbacks, his legacy as a revolutionary leader inspired future generations of freedom fighters worldwide. From America to Europe and beyond, his deeply unwavering commitment to liberty and innovative military strategies continue to resonate today. Born on February 4, 1746, into a minor noble family in, and I'm sorry if I butcher this, Mirachowszczyzna, a village nestled within the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. His father, Ludwik Tadeusz Kościuszko, served as a lawyer and land manager, instilling in young Tadeusz a strong sense of duty and responsibility. His mother, Tekla Ratomska, belonged to a family of lesser nobility known for their progressive views and intellectual pursuits. This familial environment nurtured Tadeusz's inquisitive mind and laid the foundation for his future leadership. From an early age, Kościuszko showed a keen interest in learning and exploring. He enjoyed reading books, playing chess, and drawing maps. He also developed a love for nature and animals, especially horses. He was known for his kindness, generosity, and courage, traits that would define his character throughout his life. In 1760, Tadeusz enrolled in the prestigious cadet school in Warsaw, a renowned institution for training future military officers. Here, he excelled in mathematics, engineering, and military strategy. His exceptional talents attracted the attention of influential mentors, including Prince Adam Kazimierz Czartoryski, a prominent Polish statesman, and Jean-Baptiste Vaquet de Gribeauval, a French military engineer who revolutionized artillery tactics. These mentors provided Kościuszko with invaluable knowledge and broadened his understanding of warfare, statecraft, and the Enlightenment ideals that would shape his revolutionary spirit. Tadeusz also formed close friendships with his fellow cadets, many of whom would later join him in his revolutionary endeavors. One of them was Kazimierz Pulaski, who would become a hero of the American Revolution and the father of the American cavalry. Another was Julian Niemcewicz, who would become a distinguished poet, historian, and politician. Kościuszko and his friends shared a common vision of a free and independent Poland, a dream that would motivate their actions for years to come. Tadeusz's formative years were marked by significant events that shaped his worldview. He witnessed firsthand the political and social injustices plaguing the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, including the erosion of its sovereignty and the exploitation of its peasantry. These experiences fueled his growing desire to fight for liberty and justice. Additionally, his exposure to the Enlightenment philosophy of freedom and individual rights further solidified his commitment to revolutionary ideals. One of the most influential events in Kościuszko's life was the First Partition of Poland in 1772, when Russia, Prussia, and Austria divided and annexed large portions of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. This act of aggression outraged Tadeusz and his compatriots, who saw it as a violation of their nation's dignity and sovereignty. Kościuszko wrote in his memoirs, "I saw the tears of my countrymen, I heard their groans, I felt the pain of their wounds, and I swore to devote myself to the defense of their liberty." Following his graduation from the cadet school in 1765, Tadeusz embarked on a journey to further hone his military skills. He traveled to France, where he studied advanced fortification techniques and gained valuable experience serving in the French army. This period further enhanced his reputation as a skilled military engineer and strategist, paving the way for his future contributions to revolutionary struggles across the globe. However, Kościuszko's stay in France was not without challenges. He faced financial difficulties, cultural barriers, and personal tragedies. He also fell in love with a French noblewoman named Françoise de Corbin, but their relationship was doomed by their different social statuses and her family's opposition. Tadeusz was heartbroken and disillusioned, but he did not lose hope. He decided to seek a new opportunity in America, where revolution was brewing, and he was to play a critical role. Initially serving as a volunteer aide to Benjamin Franklin, he quickly impressed the Continental Army with his expertise in engineering and fortification. They commissioned him as a colonel and assigned him to design and construct defenses for various strategic locations, like West Point, Fort Ticonderoga, and the Delaware River. Tadeusz's service in the American Revolution earned him the respect and admiration of his comrades, including George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Alexander Hamilton. He also developed a deep affection for the American people and their cause, which he saw as aligned with his own. He wrote to a friend, "I came here where freedom is being defended, to serve it and to live or die for it." Kościuszko's first major contribution came in the late summer of 1776. Recognizing the strategic significance of the Delaware River, he designed a series of fortifications along its banks, including Fort Mercer and Fort Mifflin. These forts played a crucial role in delaying the British advance and ultimately led to their defeat at the Battle of Red Bank in October 1777. This victory marked a turning point in the war, boosting American morale and demonstrating Kościuszko's tactical brilliance. Tadeusz's engineering genius continued to shine throughout the war. His fortifications at Saratoga proved instrumental in the American victory against British General John Burgoyne later that same month. Tadeusz's innovative use of trenches and earthworks effectively neutralized the British artillery, leading to their surrender and marking a significant turning point in the Revolution. As the British troops surrendered, Kościuszko was among the first to greet them and offer them food and water. He also exchanged his sword with a British officer as a sign of respect and friendship. His humane and generous treatment of the enemy earned him the admiration of both sides by showing his noble character. Tadeusz's contributions extended beyond the battlefield by actively participating in training American troops, developing innovative military tactics, and advising General George Washington on strategic matters. He also served as a close confidant to the general, earning his respect and admiration for his unwavering dedication to the cause of American independence. Kościuszko also developed a close friendship with Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of Independence and a future president. The two men shared a common vision of a free and democratic society based on the principles of the Enlightenment. Jefferson later wrote of Tadeusz, "He is as pure a son of liberty as I have ever known, and of that liberty which is to go to all, and not to the few or the rich alone." Kościuszko's experiences in the American Revolution significantly influenced his understanding of democracy and republican government. However, Tadeusz also became aware of the contradictions and injustices within the American society, especially the institution of slavery. He was appalled by the hypocrisy of a nation that fought for freedom while denying it to millions of its people. He expressed his views on slavery in a letter to Jefferson. "I have heard that you possess a large number of slaves. I cannot express to you how much I am grieved by this fact. Is it possible that the champion of liberty should hold fellow humans in bondage?" Following his service in the American Revolution, Tadeusz returned to his homeland in 1784. However, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth he found was vastly different from the one he left. Years of political turmoil, economic decline, and foreign interference had weakened the once powerful nation. The Commonwealth was plagued by internal divisions between powerful magnates and the increasingly marginalized peasantry. Tadeusz witnessed firsthand the injustices faced by his fellow citizens. He saw the erosion of the Commonwealth's sovereignty under the watchful eyes of Russia, Prussia, and Austria. These oppressive forces sought to exploit the nation's internal weaknesses and ultimately partition its territories. Determined to restore his homeland's independence and establish a just society, Kościuszko dedicated himself to enacting significant reforms. He advocated for a more representative government that would empower the nobility and curtail the excessive influence of the magnates, while also championing the abolition of serfdom and the improvement of the lives of the peasantry. Tadeusz's proposed reforms were met with fierce resistance from the entrenched aristocracy. Wary of losing their privileges and power, many nobles opposed any changes to the existing political and social order. Despite these challenges, Kościuszko remained undeterred and continued to advocate for a more equitable society. As tensions within the Commonwealth escalated, neighboring powers exploited the situation to further their own agendas. During the reign of Catherine the Great, Russia's ambitions led to increasing tensions with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, as Russia sought to exert influence over the Commonwealth's resources and strategic territories. The situation escalated in 1791 when the Commonwealth enacted the Constitution of May 3rd, a groundbreaking document aimed at modernizing the nation and strengthening its institutions. This constitution, while celebrated as a progressive and enlightened achievement, was seen by Catherine as a threat to her influence. In response, she rallied forces within the Commonwealth that were opposed to the Constitution, leading to internal conflict and the outbreak of the Polish-Russian War of 1792, also known as the War in Defense of the Constitution. The war concluded with the Second Partition of Poland in 1793. In this partition, Russia and Prussia annexed more than half of the remaining territories of the Commonwealth, significantly reducing its size and influence. This historical injustice by foreign imperial powers set the stage for the Kościuszko uprising. As the Commonwealth grappled with the aftermath of the Second Partition, a sense of urgency and resistance began to grow among its people. The nation, under the leadership of our protagonist today, was preparing to fight back. This uprising, erupting on March 24, 1794, was a valiant but ultimately unsuccessful attempt to liberate the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Kościuszko issued a manifesto, known as the Proclamation of Polaniec, in which he declared the uprising's goals and principles. He called for the restoration of the Commonwealth's sovereignty, the defense of the Constitution of May 3rd, and the emancipation of the serfs. He wrote, "I, Tadeusz Kościuszko, swear in the name of God and the nation that I will not use the power entrusted to me for any personal gain or glory, but only for the common good and the defense of the integrity of the borders of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth." As he was a skilled military tactician, he took to employing unconventional strategies to counter the larger and better equipped forces of Russia and Prussia. He relied on guerrilla warfare and focused on mobilizing the peasantry, who formed a significant portion of the uprising's forces. These tactics proved successful in the early stages of the rebellion, earning Kościuszko the admiration of his troops and raising the hopes of the Polish-Lithuanian people. A pivotal moment in the uprising came with the Battle of Rakłowicz, fought on April 4, 1794. Facing superior Prussian forces, Kościuszko led a daring charge of peasant scythemen against the enemy cavalry. Despite heavy casualties, the Polish troops managed to achieve a stunning victory, demonstrating the courage and determination of the uprising's participants. The battle became a symbol of the uprising's spirit and a source of inspiration for future generations of Polish patriots. It was immortalized in a monumental painting by Jan Matejko, one of the most famous Polish artists. The painting depicts the heroic scene of the battle, with Kościuszko at the center, surrounded by his loyal followers, and is considered a national treasure. Despite early successes, the uprising faced insurmountable challenges. The combined forces of Russia and Prussia vastly outnumbered the Polish rebels. Additionally, internal divisions within the Commonwealth weakened the uprising's cohesion and hampered its ability to effectively resist the enemy. The Targowica Confederation, a group of Polish nobles who opposed the Constitution and sided with Russia, further complicated the situation. Their betrayal provided valuable intelligence to the enemy and contributed to the downfall of the rebellion. The Confederation was originally formed in 1792 by a faction of conservative and pro-Russian magnates who feared losing their privileges and power under the Constitution of May 3rd. They signed a pact with Catherine in which they pledged their loyalty to her and asked for her intervention to restore the old order. They also denounced the Constitution and the uprising as illegal and treasonous. Their actions were widely condemned by the Polish-Lithuanian people, who saw them as traitors and enemies of the nation. After months of fierce fighting, The uprising reached a critical juncture with the siege of Warsaw. Despite the valiant defense of the city, Polish forces were eventually overwhelmed by the sheer size of the Russian army. The fall of the city came on November 4th, 1794, and it marked a turning point in the uprising, effectively sealing its fate. In a final act of defiance, Kościuszko participated in the desperate Battle of Masiejewicz on October 10, 1794. Though outnumbered and outmatched, the Polish troops fought valiantly. However, Tadeusz was severely wounded and captured by the Russians, marking the end of his leadership in the uprising. As he lay on the battlefield, Tadeusz uttered the words, "Finis Poloniae," meaning the end of Poland. He was taken prisoner and transported to St. Petersburg, where he was held in captivity until 1796. He was treated with respect by the Russian authorities, who recognized his military prowess and noble character. After the death of the Empress, Kościuszko was released and emigrated to the United States. In 1798, he wrote a will dedicating his U.S. assets to the education and freedom of U.S. slaves. However, the execution of his will later proved difficult, and the funds were never used for the purpose he intended. Eventually, Kościuszko returned to Europe and lived in Switzerland. On October 15, 1817, Kościuszko passed away. His body was later buried at Wawel Castle in Krakow, Poland, alongside the tombs of the Polish kings. A national hero in Poland, symbolizing resistance against oppression and the fight for freedom and justice, inspiring revolutionary movements worldwide. His ideals of liberty and equality resonated across the globe, influencing movements like the French Revolution, the Haitian Revolution, and the Latin American Wars of Independence. Many took to adopting Kościuszko's tactics and principles. In the United States, his impact is commemorated with monuments and memorials. The Kościuszko Monument in Lafayette Park, near the White House, is a prominent example. His life story, marked by courage, commitment to justice, and belief in the inherent worth of every individual, continues to inspire generations around the world. As Tadeusz himself said, "For our freedom and yours, we are soldiers of fortune."